Okay, so here we go with what will hopefully be the first of many streams, I hope, anyway. If you're watching this on YouTube, then well, you should be able to go to the very end of this video and you'll be able to, and the title card at the end will have my Twitter and blog and Twitch address and everything else. So yeah. Um, okay, so time to get a couple little things set up here, and then I can begin. Right. So now, if you're wondering what I'm trying to do here, I'm basically trying to write a game, albeit a game that will ideally, anyway, run on pretty much any, well, almost any 8-bit computer anyway. I mean, not necessarily quite every 8-bit computer ever made, but pretty close if I'm able to do this correctly. Right now, so what I'm basically starting out with is the Altair 8800. Right? It's the pretty much it's one of the absolute earliest, if not earliest, 8-bit computers. I mean, essentially, but for instance, with like war games, for instance, you'll see in the background a computer with a whole bunch of blinking lights and switches and stuff. That was an IMSI. This is, well, pretty much the same basic thing, just a little older than that. I mean, the IMSI was a clone of this, right? So, with this, basically, you've got all these lights, okay? And then there's your various switches. So, first, so the first thing to do is just to turn on the switch here. Right, and that basically turns it on, and then you have a few lights that basically start up, essentially. Now, right, now one of the interesting things about this is it looks really intimidating, but it's not. These switches here are used to basically put in, like, just enter in data, right? So you can toggle switches, hit deposit, toggle more switches, hit deposit next, etc. These switches here are for addresses. Well, actually, these switches are also for addresses, but these also can be used for addresses. Right? You can basically set it to whatever you want, set these to whatever you want, and then you can hit examine, and it'll show what's in that particular address, etc. Okay, now, what I'm going to be using here is Altair 8800 Basic, which was written by Bill Gates and Paul Allen way back in 1975. Right, okay. Now, of course, the way this normally would be loaded in essentially was to load it through, well, you'd basically toggle in through these switches here. You would essentially toggle in a bootloader, and then you would run the bootloader, and then that would basically read in from a paper tape. And like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, essentially, it would start printing out to your teletype, which was essentially a typewriter, which hooked up to this. Okay, so okay now one of the interesting things about an emulator is the fact that I don't actually have to go through the whole process of toggling in stuff. And in fact, I have never figured out how to actually toggle stuff into this thing and make it run properly. Okay, so instead, I'm going to basically read in a loader program. Okay, so that loads in the bootloader. Okay, now I'm going to load a version of BASIC from cassette tape, right? Okay, now I'm going to be using this is not going to be the original version of BASIC that was ever used, because that's rather difficult to use. It's not terribly good for programming with. I mean, at the time it was all they had, but there's better ways to program with BASIC on one of these things. But okay, so once you have everything loaded, first, of course, we have to set sense switches. Right, these are essentially this is for essentially input and output when you don't have anything else. Okay, so that basically tells it what kind of terminal I'm going to be using, okay? Because, yes, this thing, pretty much you interact with it through a terminal. So, I'm going to hit run. And now it loads from the cassette tape. This probably would have taken a lot longer normally. And, of course, now up in the upper left-hand corner, we get our terminal. Okay, so first is memory size. I just hit enter for that, which makes it use the maximum amount of memory. And there's a line printer, which, yeah, you can't hit enter for this. You have to type in something. So I just type C for Centronics. Not that I'm using a line printer, but... And then enter for disk number, files, random files. And there we go, right? Altair Basic 5.0 disk extended version, July 14th, 1978. Which is older than me. And probably older than you as well. Okay, so now we basically have what is essentially a basic interpreter. Just like you'd find on any normal 8-bit computer. Okay. So I may as well just start writing this thing. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define variables, because for the most part you want to make sure that you have basic, you want to define variables whenever possible because they tend to be faster. Okay? So I'm going to define z as 0 because, well, I'm going to be using 0 all the time. Y as 1 because, again, I'll be using 1 a lot. Okay? A as z because this is pretty much a variable used to define who is attacking. T equals z. Again, this is another definition. And then v equals 13, right? Now, this is basically indexing an array, right? Yeah, I mean, in an attempt to ensure that this will work on as many possible computers as possible, I'm going to be writing this thing essentially using variables A through Z, and that's it. So no variables beyond A through Z, and they're all going to be numeric variables. And also, I'm only going to be using one array, which is going to be a single-dimensional array. And so I need this to basically, sort of outline, essentially, different sections of the array. Okay. So I'm just going to set that variable up there to be 44, which is, well, essentially the number of elements that will be in the array. Okay, 45 p equals z. This is another temp variable, and another temp variable, and yet another temp variable. And this is yet another thing that I'm going to be using for array indexing. Okay. Okay, and then that's for iterator. That's an iterator variable. And that's a secondary iterator variable. Alright. Okay, and here I'm dimensioning an array, basically, right, to 44, which means 45 total elements. Okay. Well, okay, so, maybe I won't bother with that just yet. Now I have some other variables I need to do. Just a whole bunch here that mean various things. Yeah, now this battle system is being based off of the Final Fantasy VII battle system, specifically the first battle in the game. Okay? So, yeah. I mean, most of these variables involve various numbers that need to be used, essentially. Some of them are just like, what the? Why would you use that number? Well, yeah. But these are all used in the battle system formulas for Final Fantasy VII, so yeah. It's a little weird, but 3841, really? But that is how it is. P equals Y, that's for potions. Okay. And that's the thing that sets the number of wins, right? Okay. Now, for I equals Z to C, okay, which is basically 0 to 44. This is our read routine, which will read stuff in from data statements, right? Okay. So now we need to do some data statements, right? Because we need to, fill that array up with data. So first we have our current hit points and maximum hit points, which we set to be both the same. Current magic points, maximum magic points. And then our attack value. And our attack percentage value. Our defense percentage. Magic attack, magic defense, dexterity, luck, and level, right? So yeah, so essentially those are the stats for the main player in the game. Now, we go to stats for our enemies. Right? They have no basically 30 hit points, no magic points, attack of 6, and based on the way the original game was set up, based on the way the game was originally set up, they should essentially have a bunch of zeros, but I'm going to set those to 1 because of... the problem basically with this is the fact that if I don't set those to 1, I'm going to have... It's basically more of a way of making it so I can increase the difficulty later on if I want to, and I will want to, right? Okay, so 30, 30, 0, 0, 6, 1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 54, 2. Okay. Right. Now, of course, I need to, since there's 2 enemies at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to need to copy this, right? Which is pretty easy, really. Just select it, hit right mouse button, and then right mouse button. Boom, done. And I've got a few more things, which is basically for a couple of spells, right? I've got, like, lightning magic, which has 4 magic points, 8 power, 100 attack. And then cure, which is 5 magic points, 5 power, 255 magic attack percentage. And there we go with our kind of initial set. That in it. So at this point, we now have all of our variables that will be dealt with. Okay. So now we can start up with a little bit of other stuff here. Welcome to the battle system test. And a print, just to make a blank line. Another print to make another blank line. No. It's one of the reasons why I'm using a later version of BASIC is because you can't use the actual backspace key with older versions, so it's a little annoying. Okay, 185, print, and there we go. We're done with that. Okay, that's our entire initialization and setup. Okay? So, let's start off with our main loop, which is what every single game uses. Every game has a main loop of some kind. Some are bigger than others. Okay. So, if A, right, which is our... That's essentially, okay. If A, yeah, A. Wait. Oh, wait. Maybe I should change. I'm trying to think. Oh, I don't know. Say. Because, yeah, it's... Nah. Yeah. This is basically taking my... Okay. Yeah, okay, no. B times A. Okay. Equals C. Then, well, let's go to line 1000, right? Because A, V times A, right? That's basically the 13 times whatever it is, right? So it'll be, if it's the main character, okay, that basically will check if it's the main character, it'll be 13 times 0. Okay? Then it'll iterate. If their hit points are 0, it'll iterate. If it's times 1, it'll be 13, times 2, it'll be 26. So yeah, that'll work. Okay. Yeah. So that basically, so pretty much it will iterate past them if their hit points are at 0. Okay, so this is our iteration routine for attackers, right? Okay. First, it checks to see, right, AZ, which is the player's hit points, right? If that equals 0, then let's go to, say, line is 60,000, right? That'll be our game over. Okay. A equals A plus Y, which is essentially that iterates it by 1. If A is not equal to Z, then we'll set our target to Z for our player. If A, V times A, Z. Okay, so now this checks to see this, right? Checks again, just to see what that, right? And A equals A plus Y. Just to make sure, right? Right? Because again, if it's iterated, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that basically will check just to make sure that so for instance, let's just say it's on number 1, right? Let's just say if the player has 0 hit points, it'll go to the iterate routine, and if they have 0, it goes to line 60,000. It iterates, right? Then it'll iterate. But if they are at 0, then it will add another one, right? Of course, if the first one would say 0, let's just say it was at 1, the attacker number's at 1, and that's 0, then it'll iterate, but then it'll be 2, and so on and so forth, I think. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job explaining that, but I don't care. Right now, A is above X, which is 2, right? Because there's player and 2 other enemies, so that has to go to 2. Then it just resets that to 0. Okay. Then I'll set a temp variable Z, right? Okay, if A, B times Y, which is for 1, equals Z, then D equals D plus Y, which is a way of basically saying that basically checks soldier number 1, enemy number 1. See if there's 0, it'll increment, right? And this checks the same thing, but for enemy number 2. Right? X then. Let's go to 3,000. Say 3,000. Line 3,000. Just say for a. Yeah, let's. Base. Okay, that'll be where we go to. Yeah, that'll be where we go to. Essentially, if you've managed to kill both enemies. And then we just have a go to 200 just to send it right back to the beginning of the main loop. Okay. So now we
continue with the main loop. If the attacker is 0, then we go to line 5000. Okay. Line 5000 will be our menu loop. Okay. So we'll have this basically print the number current hit points, and then the maximum hit points. And then this will print our magic points, essentially. Right. So yeah, that prints out how essentially it prints the current by maximum hit points and magic points. And toss in a print just to make things continue, to add a blank line in there. Okay. And here we go with our menu options for this. Okay. Right now I'm just doing attack and quit. I'll add potions and other such stuff later on. Then we input that. Alright, we get an input into a first of our temp variables. Okay, so if it equals 1, then let's go to, say, line 6000, which will be our attack input routine. And if it equals 0, then we'll go to, say, 6100. Yeah, I suppose that'll work for game up, for essentially the final cleanup, essentially. And then go to 5000, which, so essentially if you don't enter in any of either of those two, it will then just send you right back to the menu. Okay, so here we go with our attack input. Okay, now, so I'm just going to do a go sub to another routine, because what I essentially want to do is just keep one single routine for that, essentially. Okay. I just have one shared input routine. So, just do a print to make sure that we have an extra line in there. For I equals y to x, which is essentially just 1 to 2, right? Okay. Okay, actually I should okay, what was... Okay, just... Oh. Actually, that's true, yeah. Okay, no, v times I. So yeah, a equals v times I is greater than z, right? This will check the hit points for the enemy characters. Then I print, and this is a whole bunch of, yes, it's kind of annoying to read here. Basically, this will print this number, and then soldier Right. Okay. So yes, this basically just prints out, the enemies you're facing. Okay. Now, print. Which enemy do you want to target? Okay. And then, and print 0 to go back, just so I have a way to get people out of this menu. Do not want people being trapped in a menu now, do I? Then 41. Right, so here we do another input into our first temp variable. Okay, and if C equals Z, then I can just return out of this. And then, 40, okay, 90. I'll set another temp variable to 0. Okay, and then we go back into our indexing again, right? So this basically will check the hit points. Okay? So if the hit points of the enemy you're targeting is less than 0, then I'm just going to set that temp variable to n, which is based on my variable list is 255, which I'm just using essentially just as a comparative thing. Okay, so I can so if the enemy has 0 or less hit points, then it'll just, then it'll just go right back to the beginning of this whole subroutine. Okay. Then we set our target to what the user entered. And another print just to create, another lot space, basically. And now we can return back out of that. And so now we're basically going back up that way. Okay. So if C equals Z, then we go back to 5,000, which is our menu loop. And if C is above X, since that's 2, and there's only 2 enemies, so in that case, then we have to basically start this whole input over again. And also, if for whatever dumb reason somebody decides to enter a negative number of some kind, we also want to restart the input routine. Okay, now I'm going to do another go-to. Okay, so this line 10,000 will be our attack routine. Yes, now this is where we get into some really fun stuff, which essentially this formula, so yes, I think this should be the physical hit formula, which is like the hit percentage is the attacker's dexterity divided by 4 plus the attack percentage, right? And then you add the attacker's defensive percentage and subtract the target's defensive percentage. Yeah, that sounds really kind of long. And yeah, but in BASIC, it's even worse. We get into parentheses hell right here. And I mean serious parentheses hell. Okay? or we have our array, and then our array index attacker, array index number. And then we have to add 10 to that because that's our dexterity. And we divide that by age, which is 4. Okay, so that should be one big parenthetical thing there. Okay, now we have to do another index. And then yet another index here. Yeah. I already wrote these out in a Notepad++, just so I could have all the nice little things that would show, like, the red things would show, oh yes, here you know. It's like, oh yes, you forgot to close this parentheses. So, a little bit of this stuff was pre-written before I started doing this. So yes, that should hopefully be that routine anyway. Hopefully that formula is correct. Okay, now I'm going to do another go sub to line 40,000, which is essentially a subroutine that will create a random number out of 100. So, r equals int, alright, I want to make this an integer, r and d y for 1, which you need that, and then times g, which is 100. And return. It's pretty simple, but yeah, it means I don't have to keep typing in r equals r, I don't have to keep doing that. So now we move on to the rest of that routine. Okay. So, this basically checks our attacker's luck. Wait. Okay, let's just do another go sub to yet another subroutine. Okay, which is our lucky hit subroutine. So, basically we have di equals h. Okay, so yes, that takes that, and then just divides by h, which is 4, yes. And, that's about it, really. A lot of these subroutines are pretty short and simple. But yeah. So, if d is greater than r, right, which is a random number, then I'm setting a temp to 255. And now we check our target. Yes, now we check the luck of the target. Okay, and we use the same routine that we used before. Okay, so if, and again, d is greater than r, then c is n. Okay. So, if random number is less than c, then we'll move on to what will be our physical damage routine. Okay. And, And oh wait, I'm trying to. Okay, no wait. Okay, so yes, now I need to account for who you're actually targeting, right? So yeah. So if the target is above 0, which means you're targeting an enemy, we'll print your attack missed. And if target is 0, then we'll print soldier attacker number missed you. Okay. So now we do another print. To insert yet another blank line there. And now we go. I'm trying to go here. Oh wait, okay, yeah. That's the problem with line numbers. Sometimes you start getting confused about where we are. So yeah. So then I want to go back to our increment attacker, right? Okay. So, of course, I had the line 10,090, which was going to line 11,000. So let's do line 11,000, which is our physical damage routine. And here we go with yet more annoying formulas. Okay, so that's our attack, right? That's our attacker's attack. Okay, now into another temp variable, we'll do our level. Okay, so now we basically take the attacker's attack value, take that and add it to the level, divide that by L, which is 32, and multiply that by D times D there, right? Yeah, these formulas are annoying, but hey, blame the people who did Final Fantasy VII for these formulas. And I think that should be it. Okay. So now I've got in temp variable C, I've got that. Now I move on to okay, so that was base damage. Yeah, okay, that was the base damage formula. Now I need to do another damage formula here. Which is basically, the base damage formula is attack plus level divided by 32 times attack times level divided by 32. Now we get to power times 512 minus defense times base damage divided by 16 times 5, 12. It's, yeah. So, and of course this is just using lots and lots of variables, so it's utterly and completely unreadable by by humans. Okay, let's... Did I? Okay. Guess I did do that. Okay. Parenthesis, times that times the base damage value divided by 2 times A. Yeah, I hope that works. No. 50. Okay. And now we get another thing, and I don't think I really... Yeah, I'm not totally sure what I was doing. Yeah, I wrote all these things down before, and I'm not totally sure what any of this stuff is supposed to mean at this point, because I did this like a week and a half ago, so... But that's luck. And it's attacker's luck, and that's attacker's level. And it's target. Level. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, trying to program stuff in the actual emulator is usually not a great idea when you're dealing with this many parentheses. Okay, so now I need to get another weird random number. Okay, say 65, 535. So, basically we get like random number. So R&D 1 times F, which is 65, 535, times O, which is 99. Divide that by that, plus 1. Yeah, it's, again, don't blame, yeah, if I was going to come up with my own actual stuff, I wouldn't use such weird numbers, but yeah. So here we check our random number. It is less than, oh wait, that was our, oh, okay, I guess that was our random number damage variation, I think. No, wait, that comes later. Okay, I have no idea. Yeah, at this point, I'm way. I'm not totally sure what I'm doing in terms of this right now, but hopefully things will work. So that's basically... Wait, that's... No, wait, okay. No, wait, that right there is... Yeah, okay, so no. So yes, I want to go to... Okay, yeah. So I want to skip over... Basically, if that number is... Oh, wait. Actually... Slight... Just getting OCD there. Okay, so... This is a formula for the critical hit damage that we can get. Okay. Just put, which basically doubles our damage. Actually. Okay. So, no. Okay. This is our random damage variation right now. Okay. So, basically we want to turn this into an integer. Times. So, this uses S, which is 3841, plus random 1, and times n. Okay, divide that by b. Okay, 020. If our damage ends up being 0, then we set damage to 1, just for reasons. Okay, now we go to our attacker. Yes, we go for that's the target's hit points. So, yeah, we'll set that to our target hit points minus our damage. Okay. And if our target's hit points is less than or equal to 0, then we'll set it to 0, basically, because we don't want to make sure to clamp that so we don't get weird negative numbers and stuff happening. And okay, so the attacker. Okay, I'll just say if the attacker is not 0, then we'll just say, I'll just write this later, I suppose. Okay. Oh yes, that's true. So now I also need a. Actually, maybe I don't need that one. Yeah, I shouldn't. Okay, so say let's do this, right? Print you hit soldier T for damage hit points. Okay. Blank line. If attacker's hit points is not equal to Z, and so 13 to 90, I guess. Yeah, jump ahead a little. It's not, okay, so it's this checks to make sure that you haven't, see if you've defeated them. If you have defeated them, then print you defeated soldier T print, and that's going to say 13290, and then we go back to our increment routine. Okay, and then we had, yes, then up there we had 13300. Okay, yeah. So, if there's damage is above 0. Right, now this is, this is basically what happens. Yes, now this is what happens basically if they attack you. Okay? So we'll do yes. Okay. So we'll do line 45,000 or I'll just call it the ding routine because normally it should make a nice little ding sound when you get hit. Okay? So I'll just do a little bit of a thing here, right? This is just to space things out a little. And print CHR7, which prints the ASCII bell sound. And now we can return back from that. Okay. Okay, so then this is, this will basically print the number of the soldier who hit you for damage hit points. Okay. Blank line. Okay. Now this checks your hit points, right? It's not equal to Z. Then say 13,390. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's in there. Then 13,390. 13,340. Print. You die. Blank line. Then go to 1,000. Okay. Just. Okay. Okay, that. So going back. Let's see, right? So we had our menu loop. First the attack iteration. Menu loop and. Okay, so I think that would be, okay. Let me see. So that's, okay. Oh, wait. Going all the way back down to line 230 now. We'll have our T equals Z. 240, which is, okay, yeah. So that sets it, right? So basically after it's done iterations, the enemies basically just attack you, so it'll set the target to 0, and then it'll go to their attack routine. And that's pretty much a good main loop right there, overall. Okay. So let's try to, oh yes. 3,000. Was that 3,000? Yeah, okay. Okay, so yes. So once you've beaten both enemies that are in the battle test, right, we need to set up a new game. So, print, you are victorious. And then, print the line. Alright. And then we have W, which is our win counter. So we had 1 to that. Okay. And we set our attacker value to 0. And our target to 0. Okay. And this will reset the hit points for the enemies. I hate line numbers. So, that will set the... So yeah, that'll set the enemies' hit points to +1, right? To enemies' hit points +1, which is their maximum hit points. Okay. And then we just go back to what we had at the beginning. Okay. I mean, I suppose I could just do a go-to there, but I don't really care enough right now to look that up, to be bothered to look that up. Or actually, maybe I could. Let's just go back up to where I had done that, right? Oh. Oh, okay. I could just do that, couldn't I? Okay. 31, 30, 90, 22. So what was that again? Go to 1, and go to 180. I suppose that will work. That's true. That probably simplifies things a little. Okay. Oh, yes. And then, of course, we also need a game over routine. Right? So, print game over. And here we go with another blank line. Right. Okay. So, and this will pretty much ding a couple of times. So, go sub to our dinging routine. Maybe I should. Oh, wait. I equals Z to X. Have it ding, say, 3 times, right? Okay. And then we have our final thing, which will basically say that, essentially say how many times you won. And I may as well just toss an end in here for good measure. Okay. And this is at least kind of the basic bare minimum of it. Okay. So, let's just run this to see what happens. Okay. So, 2 soldiers approach. And of course, we get error messages. Okay. So that's what that was. Okay. Let's see what I fix this little thing here. Right. Oh, no way. Mm-hmm. Ah! What? Ah! Oh, yeah. Worn keys. Oh. No, wait. Okay, let me see. Yeah. No, okay. Let me just. Maybe I just need to check this. Oh, wait. Okay, that's what's wrong. Okay. Okay. Yes, I guess it looks like I added an extra parenthesis in there. Yeah, okay, that should do it. Again, parentheses hell. So. What in the world? What in the... Okay, this is really, really fun right here. Okay, I got that. And that. Okay, just need to... I don't know. Add another parenthesis in there, I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, it worked. I defeated Hit Soldier 1 for 45 hit points, and I defeated them, and now other one missed me. So my attack missed. Ooh. Okay, so it's now working. It's actually working. Sort of. Let's just see what happens if I type in 1 for that. Oh, okay. So that particular thing works. I just need to wait for an enemy to actually hit me. Just to make sure the ding works. Ooh, and the ding works! Okay, so that should... So that's good. Okay. Well, I suppose that's enough of a test. You won 8 times. Yes. Yeah. Now, the problem with that basically is the fact, though, that the enemies are... Let's see. Alright. Now, the problem, of course, is the fact that the enemies in this are really, really weak, because it's just... They use pretty much the same stats as the first battle in Final Fantasy VII, which means that, yeah, pretty much this could go on for years, potentially. And so I need to add a way to increase the difficulty, right? So insert a line after 30, right? Say if, just for testing purposes, if wins equal to greater than, say, 3, then I'll just do a go sub somewhere else, right? Okay. Increase the difficulty. Okay. So, first I'll do go sub to line 40,000 because that's our random number out of 100. Say if that's above or equal to 25, right? Then return. So that gives me about a 25% chance of this particular thing working. And for I equals, say, 13 to... Oh, yes, that's true. So I have 30, and I have an index for where I have the statistics for the magic spells, so I'll just do that -1. And... Wrong keys. Okay, so then I'll just start increasing the levels and all their stats by 1.5 times when that happens. Okay. The enemies have powered up. This is a way of showing that, yeah, the enemies have powered up. And now I just do a return from that. Okay. So now I just go through this again. Hit me. Yeah. So I just keep going through this until... Okay. Well, they actually are hitting me. The enemies have powered up. Okay. So this means that the enemies should now be somewhat stronger. Somewhat, anyway. Okay, you hit them for 44, and they didn't die. You hit them for... Okay, so yeah. So yes, now I just have to keep going through this until I die. Yeah. Or maybe I can hit Control-C, break. Maybe I'll hit, say, A equals. Maybe, or A 0 equals 50, just to speed this process up a little. Okay. Okay, there we go, yes. The great thing about BASIC is you can just break out of it. And so yes, now I'm down to 20. Right? One, two, three, four. Okay. Maybe I should change. Okay. That's like 4 times, so maybe I should change that a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so, okay, so, I'm kind of sick of the whole dinging as of right now. So, just change that line to just rem it out for now. Okay, now I'm going. Okay. So. Okay. So. Okay, there we go. Okay, so. No, wait. 40. Okay. So now I'm going to add Now I'm going to be adding support for like, magic spells and stuff in this. Okay, so yeah, this, but okay, I'll just do that. Okay, so 50, 41. So I'll add magic. And C equals X, which is 2. Then I'll go to, say, line 7,000. Okay. So this is our magic input routine, which has to be a little different than some of the other stuff I had. So, first we have lightning. Not sure. Okay. So A M, okay, which is 39, which is where I basically am storing the stats for the magic, right? So that basically says how many magic points that is. And to cure, and then M plus 3. Okay. So now I can just type in which spell do you want to cast? Want to cast. Right, type and then 0 to go back. And again, input that. So, and yes, I get 1,000 for that. And C equals 2, and 25,000. And if it's 0, then we can just go back to our menu routine. And again, then we just do a go to 7,000 just in case somebody still manages to put the wrong thing in there. Okay, now we'll move on to our lighting routine, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna zero out a couple of temp variables. Zero out these temp variables. I know I'm going to be using this. I know I'm going to be using for something. Okay. So, first we check if the magic, right, if the number of magic points it requires is above your current magic points, then go to, say, line 21,000. Okay. Print. Okay. You don't have enough MP to cast that spell. And then we just go right back to the magic input routine. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, maybe I should make that a... Yeah, whatever. Okay, actually, no, that actually will work. I think about it, yeah. Okay. So. Okay, so our magic points will be alright, so we'll subtract the number of magic points the spell is going to use from the player's magic points. Oh, okay, yes. So then we bring in our shared input routine. That's why I wrote that as a shared input routine. Okay. Then go back to 7,000. It's 0. And again, we have our general sanity checks here. And some of this is duplicated, but I don't care that much. Right, yeah. So, so this will be essential. So this is basically going to M. What? Okay. And again, with all of my diagramming and everything else, my flowchart and everything else, I'm still not quite sure what this was supposed to be. I didn't really sort of added this later and didn't bother writing down precisely what I was trying to do here, but obviously at the time I had a better clue as to what I was doing here. But it should work. I think it'll work anyway. Nice. Plus 12. Just level. Okay, hopefully that works. Okay, now we get a random number out of 100. Okay. Okay, that'll be our magic damage routine. Okay. Yeah. Now let's do that, yeah, because I need to do this next thing here. Okay. Let's try this, right. Another really annoying formula, which is just annoying to deal with. It's a good thing I pre-wrote these things, right? You know. Honestly. If I had to figure out all this stuff as I was typing it, it would be I wouldn't have this thing working right now, that's for sure. Okay, and then, basically this is that was our hit, right? The first one up here, I do believe was our hit. That was the hit. Right. And this is, I think, I'm not sure if this isn't damage yet, but another part of stuff, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's the thing. I did put some work into this, and now I'm trying to figure out what some of these things are. But yeah. Okay. Okay. And then we go back to our iteration again. Okay, so I did Ghost of, guess, let's see, 47,000. Alright. Which is our magic damage routine. Yes, now this is actually, again, pretty easy. That's a 6. Right, this is actually pretty easy. It's like 6 times magic attack plus level. Okay. It's more annoying. This is a lot. It looks more annoying than it really is, because it's like, here's... plus... Ah! Plus a 12. Okay. Alright. So, that is the lightning magic routine. Okay. So let's just go into our cure routine. Alright. It was 25,000 here. Okay. So, here we go with our cure magic routine. So, yes, I'm setting temp variable to... What's that gonna set that to? Now it says here that I should set that to 3. Exactly why, whatever. So yeah. Note to self, in future, I really should, like, just wing it rather than make too many preparations. Too many preparations, things get weird. A equals m plus 3 greater than a x, then 21,000. Which again will just send us right back to the... That's it, in case you have too much magic, in case you don't have enough magic. A x minus a... Oh, wait. Ah! Okay. Okay. And that's right. Now with this, we don't have to worry about hitting anyone, so we just go to our damage routine. Right? And then we do this whole specialized... This whole kind of more specialized type of routine. Yeah, this is... Again, the cure spell's a little different. Right? Yeah, and that's the thing. This thing is... The program is not totally... You know... Some of the stuff in here is distinctly hard-coded. Oh, Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay. You have been healed for the G. Right, okay. Is equals AZ plus D. Yes, instead of subtracting damage. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so say 25, 110, right? Mm-hmm. A, D, greater than A, Y, then A, Z equals A, Y. Yes, this is a sanity check to ensure that you don't end up with more hit points. Okay, let me continue on back to the beginning of that, right? Okay, so that should be the end of the magic routines. Okay. I also want to toss in an item routine too. Right, just so I can have potions and the like. Ready and say. Okay. So this will be our item routine. Print. Right. Print potion. Okay, and this will then print out how many potions you have. Right. Which item do you wish to use? Mm-hmm. Input C. Just equals Y. Then say go to 30,000. Right. If C equals Z. Then we go back to our menu routine again. And if nothing else, we'll just go right back to the beginning of that. Okay, so the first thing we do is we do a sanity check just to see potions, right? If you have no potions, then print. You have no potions. Okay, now we go right back to our menu routine. Okay. So, we just do basically your hit points plus 100. That's essentially it. Okay. Except, of course, we still need a sanity check. Just to make sure that, you're not getting more hit points than you should be with this. And then we subtract 1 from your potions. Okay. Yeah, this stuff here is really super hard coded. Well, it can be at this point because the enemies don't get to heal. The enemies don't have magic either. Oh yes, that's true. Okay, maybe I should also. Okay. Yeah, well, again, then maybe I should also. Maybe I'll also do this, right? And I also need to have it. Okay. Okay, I also need bars less than 12.5. Just a. Print. You and a potion. And print. Yeah, there's probably better ways to do this, but the way I'm writing this thing, well, yeah. And I have to do this weirdness here. And then we add a potion. If potions are greater than 99, then we'll just set that to that. Keeping with the old school Final Fantasy way of doing things. Okay. So, yes. Nah, maybe I will. Just actually, maybe I will change that back. Okay, so. There we go. See? Attack. Soldier 1. Attack. Soldier 2. Magic. Lightning. Soldier 1. There we go. Lightning. Your spell missed. Oh, whatever. Oh. Your spell missed. That's weird. Should basically hit more. A lot more. Your spell missed. Your spell missed. Your spell missed. What the? Okay, that's just weird. Okay. You don't have enough MP to cast that spell. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Try that, right? Hmm. Okay, there we go, right? Hmm. Okay. So, let's try this again. Mm-hmm. Your spell missed. Again. Your spell missed again. What is wrong with that? It's supposed to have, like, a really... I mean, this should actually, work, right? Human heal for 264 HP. Okay, so cure works. So the cure spell works. What is... Seriously, it just keeps missing. Okay, well that worked. You don't have enough MP, you don't have enough MP. Okay. Okay. Well, that's another thing I have to do. Alright. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I got a few more little things I need to figure out here. Hmm. Got some extra spaces I gotta insert in various locations and throughout here, right? So, oh, 5,000. Okay, maybe I should do that, right? 5,005. Print. Maybe that'll do, right? Okay. Okay, that works. Okay, so maybe I can eliminate some other prints from there. So yeah, that's probably... Yeah. Oh! 8,070. Okay, 8,070. That's why that was messing up. That's a typo. If C equals 0 and 5,000. Oh, come on. I'm sick of that. Say, potion, right? You've been healed for 1. Alright. You have no potions. Okay, so that's another. Gotta add in a thing after you have no potion. Before you have no potions. Okay. Okay. Okay, time to list this out again. And then. Okay. 30. Okay. 30:05. Okay. So. Okay, so let's just try magic. Lightning 1. Lightning 1. Okay, so items. Potion. Yeah, that works. None. You have no potions. Exactly. I'm getting magic here. You have been healed for 260. Yeah, it's quite powerful. Oh, I'm getting sick of that. Okay, I need to see what this is. Okay. AM +3. Okay. I'm gonna try that right. Print 5. 5. Oh, wait, no. Okay. No, wait. Okay, that shouldn't. Print A +2. Oh! Well, no wonder. M. Okay. M +2. Yeah. Okay, that was. So, yeah, that was. Okay, that was definitely wrong. Okay. Let's just see if this works, right? No, wait. Actually, that's true. Just. C equals A. That's why I have a variable for that. Okay. And then I can just see if this works correctly. Okay. Magic. Lightning. Soldier 1. Okay, there we go. There we go, yeah. Fry. Okay. So that was why the magic didn't seem to be working right, because it wasn't. It had a 5% chance instead of a 100% chance of hitting. Okay, so I think that is mostly. That's mostly it, I think. Yeah, because. Again, I can do right? Attack. 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 Oh, and I obtained a potion. Nice. Okay. So that's working. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lightning. Mm-hmm. Okay. Break. And say a 0 equals but 100. Continue. Okay. There we go. So, items, potion. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, a 0 equals 100. Continue. Okay. Magic. Cure. 259, and that also works. Okay. So, yeah. It's pretty much is set now. I mean, it actually works. Definitely works. Except for some weird occasional spacing issues and stuff, which are kind of hard to deal with. Not that I care. Not that I even care that much about about some of these spacing issues. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, okay. Okay, let's say equals 100. Continue. Okay. So, yeah. So, actually, this thing seems to be working quite nicely now. I mean, yeah, a little bit, it's like 2 hours-ish, and I'm pretty much... Yeah, about 2 hours-ish. You died. You won 18 times. Okay. But okay, so I've only got a few more little modifications I need to make to this thing. Yeah, just a few small modifications to make, right? Okay, so first, yeah, I'm just gonna do, you change that one back into rem ding, because that's not gonna work for every potential version of this. Certainly not for the 4K Altair version. And then I should also change that. Okay. say 30, 55. If wins are greater than 10, then, right, I'll just say, yeah, you can play with default enemy level until you get to say 10 wins, and then it starts slowly but surely ramping up the number of enemies, or the difficulty of the enemies. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Okay, so for the most part, that is... But okay, so for the most part, I am now done with this battle system test, right? I mean, as you can see, it's all nice and... it looks all nice and done, right? But, yeah, So pretty much, yeah, we got our variables up here. And then our main loop. And then our attacker iterator. Then new game. And increasing difficulty. Our main menu loop. Our attack input. Our magic input. Items. Our normal, right? There's our attack routine, physical damage routine, critical hits, random damage variation, lightning routine, and this is our weird little thing here, which is not remote, which I just didn't bother running. Maybe I should actually. 2101. Okay. Say rem not enough MP 2101 print. Right. Okay. So let's do this, right? Okay. Not enough MP. Alright. Okay. And then our cure routine and our item routine, and then we have and we have some subroutines, which are all just sort of randomly numbered, pretty much. Game over, and there's our data, right? Okay, I'll just add a few more descriptors in there, right? And I'll just add a few more little descriptors and the like. Okay. So yeah, So basically, yeah. But yeah, this is... But yeah. But yeah, I mean, pretty much for the most part, though, yeah, I suppose this is basically... So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? But yeah, but again, there's still one more little thing I need to do after all this, right? Yeah. Right now I've got all these lines and they're all numbered and just with different increments and everything else. I want to make everything look nice. Okay. So I'm going to run it through the built-in renumbering, right? Some versions of BASIC have this. Some don't. This one does. So you just type in renum. Okay. And here we go. All right. Basically 255 lines. And then to copy this out, I just select the whole thing like this. Okay. Hit right mouse button. And now I can just paste it into another document. Okay. New. I type list. Nothing there. Of course, then I hit this. Control C. And it pastes right back in. Without anything going, without any weird changes or anything like that. So, yeah. Run. And that's it. I mean, overall, it's actually pretty good. It works, right? What the? Wait a minute. What's that? Did I see something weird there? Oh. So that's weird. Okay, that's not. That shouldn't. Yes, it decided to put a little exclamation point at the end there. But yeah. Okay, so yeah. So for instance, right, we could type in, say, print free 0. That says 42,880, right? And then you just paste it in. There, 38,598. Run. Quit. $38,228, right? Yeah, that's actually going to be rather important. And I'm going to be doing a lot of memory checks to see how big memory is and stuff. When I start, when I continue on to basically start trying to convert this into, other versions, right? Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, that's basically, it for this right now. Next time I stream, I'll be, the basic thing about this is sort of a minimal version, right? But there's still a few other things that have to be done. But for instance, I'm going to need to come up with a routine to allow the random numbers to be seeded, because of the fact the way it is right now, every time you load up whatever version of BASIC it is, the random number is going to be the same every single time. Okay? Yeah, now of course the interesting thing is the fact though that, right? Yeah, when you start BASIC, it pretty much sets it up. It initializes the random number the exact same every time, right? Now, of course, the interesting thing is once you've finished playing through it, then you don't actually, and once you've played it once, you won't really need that. But yeah, but ideally the goal is to be able to, randomize the numbers. And then there's also the, the ding routine, which is its own, like the dinging that you were hearing. Well, that isn't necessarily, not every computer has the ability to ding. But the ones that can have different ways of doing it, so that's something I'm gonna have to change. And of course, it's also, again, just look at this, right? It's like run. You just get like this, right? It just pops up right after run. So I want to be able to clear the screen, which again, you have to do that differently. Each type of basic, each computer does that. Each one requires a completely different routine like that. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to do. And of course, then I have to, take all these different versions and, put them onto tapes and disk images and other such things. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me in future. But yeah, if you've watched this far, I don't know. If you watch this far, you may as well check out my Twitch channel, if nothing else. And anyone, there were some people who actually viewed this stream, so that was good. Nobody felt like commenting, but honestly, why would they? They're just watching the program. But yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. I should be back probably within the next few days to continue on to the process of adding random number routines and, generally doing various additional conversions and stuff. So yeah, till next time. Or, as the title card will say, see you next time.